Language is a vital part of the cultural identity of human societies. Each language has unique words and phrases, and if these words and phrases are lost, then a part of their culture can no longer be communicated. Right now, there are approximately 7,000 languages being spoken on Earth, and every 14 days, one of them goes extinct.
There are around 14 indigenous tribes on the island of Taiwan. Each of them communicate in their own distinct language. However, many of these cultures are now endangered due to the prevalence of Mandarin and the domination of Han culture.
Right now, we are in Changbin, Taiwan, to document and explore the disappearing culture and language of the Amis people. I'm Sam.
And I'm Flora. We would like to welcome you to our journey.
Ngai ho ngangan aku cipanai.
Ngai ho ci maya nana aku.
Ngai ho ci umus ku nganga aku. Ngai ho ci puru ku nganga aku. Ngai ho ci akiku ku ang ku nganga ngaku.
小时候可能会跟长辈在一起，可能会讲，可是长大之后出社会，可能工作朋友可能就是汉人啊，或者是环境要学英文什么之类的，那学会的就会很少再讲，那少讲的话就会容易忘记。可能小时候还会讲，可是长大出社会可能就会忘了很多这样。不是这里的父母喜欢把孩子送到台北，是因为这里没有工作环境，那父母亲是要去台北工作，那因为工作关系就会想要把孩子带去台北。
I don't think it's very possible. Maybe it's sad because in this village, below, above 30 years old, they 95% of them speak Chinese.
Yeah.
That means one generation is gone. Some things is helpless.
多少都会像他们在北部长大，通常都会忘记以前在乡下的一些习俗。
我对我的母语，不太会讲流利的话，因为我只会就是可能单字这样子。对对对，就是我们的文化就是快要被流失。
Do you think that the younger generations are learning the language and still participating in the cultural activities?
Actually, they are not interested in that because they know Burmese language doesn't help them to have a better job.
5、6开始。哎呀，啦呜哎呀，咿呀哦哎呀，咿呀哦哎呀，嘿呀，嗨哟咿嗨呀呜哎呀，哦哎哈嗨，哎呀，啦呜哎呀，咿呀哦哎呀，咿呀哦哎呀，嘿呀，嗨哟咿嗨呀呜哎呀，哦哎哈嗨。哦哇咿呀吼咿呀，哦哇咿呀吼咿呀。
学英文、国文、母语3种。
普通话跟阿美语言。
国语、台语、阿美一点点。哎，对。
只是一点点吗？
嗯。
一个礼拜可能只有2到3堂课，也不很少。对。然后学校也很多组啊，或者是什么汉人、客家、闽南，那可能阿美组可能就一个礼拜就1到2堂课。对。然后我们台湾比较重视读中文跟英文。
因为最近一直有很多那个原住民的表演，然后还有一些丰年祭那些的，然后就比较不容易消失吧。
那你觉得你会教你的小孩阿美族语言吗？
会啊，一定要，一定要。
为什么？为什么一定要？
因为这是我们的一代一代的文化，一代一代的传承。
in here in Haiyan, in here in Haiyan, Haiyan in Haiyan, Haiyan in Haiyan, Haiyan in Haiyan.
可以帮助我们继续保持我们的文化。因为像我们上教会，我们是用母语上教会，对。那去那里，我们是用罗马字去讲我们的母语，然后也很重视我们部落的活动、传统文化这样子。对，所以也会帮助我们小朋友办一些活动。
我们教我们的那个子子孙孙。我们上教会的时候都是用那个母语啊，是这样。我们保存这个母语的就是我们这里。目前那个政府看这样的情形，不要小灭自己的那个母语，所以在学校有老师教那个母语，就是这样啊。严重的话就是母语已经消失了，没有。不会，我们有那个书本啊，我把那个书本带给你们看好不好？还有这个，你看，放着那个文字，那个原住民有这个文字，不会消失了。
反正路面什么的呢？而且的当古吉拉，吉拉就是太阳。对，法律很热。法律。
Some cultures that we don't. For example, there's a ceremony praying with God or raining. But you know the weather forecast. Everybody watching TV, they know the weather tomorrow. They don't need to pray for the Lord, pray for the God, or pray for the spirit. Because the spirit, you lose your language, it means you lose your culture, and they will become Chinese.
Yeah.
So because they look similar like us. So that's why me and my wife and we're trying to preserve the culture, preserve the language, preserve the songs, everything. Because my major is mass communication, especially in the television and the radio and something about production. So my major can help the local people to do documentary work. So I have done the audio recording for the young people because they move to the cities because of the economic problem here. So the city is so important because they can learn their folk songs in the cities. They don't need to come back.
这些年轻人一定不会消失的。
在我们小的时候，他们那时候是叫我们多讲国语，就是汉语。那在学校不能讲母语，如果在学校讲母语的话，可能要处罚。可是现在就不一样了，现在是反而是希望小孩子多讲母语。
我们现在就是在用这些主饰，就是要把这个凉亭就做美观，也是我们以前从小看到大，老人家都是一直这样子传承下去，然后我们也想说，就把以前老人家的智慧继续传承，再延续给之后的小孩这样子。
我们的骄傲啊，就是原住民的文化是我们的骄傲。对啊。
Some of our children here. They'll torture our people. They'll torture our seniors. We cannot have this. Are you going to separate yourself from the